glass, the smaller the hands look. Just saying. Also, I apologize for my nails not being done. This hand's not bad, but this hand has seen better days. Okay, well, maybe not a whole day, maybe like 6 minutes, but it's still seen better 6 minutes. I keep looking at my hair because I'm not used to allowing my hair to not be like perfectly curled at the top. I used the infinity curler from Conair again because my friend Steve kept telling me how good it looked. So I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot. Jesus Christ. Let go of my ears. I know what I'm doing, sort of. Okay, so here we go. Listen. I have done the whole, oh my God, everything is great, I love it here video. I have. And now it's time to get real about a couple of things in my life that I probably don't talk about. I don't know if I've ever actually talked about the one thing that we're going to talk about today. But yeah, okay, so I want to start with the fact that when I moved to Laval, it was a brand new start for me. It was trying to shake off the negativity that surrounded my home in Toronto after what my ex-boyfriend did to me. And the thing is that now that I'm here, due to my ex, I'm terrified to log in anywhere close to my home because I don't want him showing up. I know that he has family in downtown Montreal or wherever they are, but I don't want him showing up in my neighborhood because because he's crazy. And so, yeah, I don't talk about that a lot. And you don't see me logging in near my home, even though where I live is really beautiful. But yeah, you know, it's difficult for sure. Also, when you're living with PTSD or when you're living with some sort of anxiety with regards to what's happened in the past in your life, it's incredibly difficult to just be. You find yourself using older coping mechanisms, which I have recently, and that means drinking excessively. I could go through a 12-pack of the Mike's Hard Lemonade in a day, and the worst thing is that not even have a buzz, and that's kind of frightening to me. And so I put a stop to that for the moment. Like I always say, you never know. I could drink tonight. I could drink tomorrow. I don't know. But for the moment, yeah, I decided that enough was enough, because you know what? This little voice in the back of my head said to me, you know, the only person winning when you're drunk is your ex. And that was such a sort of profound statement for my own mind to make to me, saying something so honest and real. And the thing is, like, look, honestly, most of the time, I've told you, I'm an alcoholic. When you're an alcoholic, your mind will do anything it can to give you a reason to drink. Oh, it's your birthday? You should drink. Oh, it's Monday? You should drink. And it's hard because on my birthday this year, I had to get some stuff from the grocery store, and I actually told myself I wasn't allowed to go to the grocery store because I was afraid that, well, actually not even afraid, I knew that if I went to the grocery store that I would be buying alcohol, and so I opted not to. And that's the sort of like conscious sort of decisions that you have to make when you're an alcoholic and when you're drinking. And the whole, like, trying to stay away from stress doesn't work. Because life is stressful. I mean, if life were easy, it would be boring. Which is my favorite line from New York Minute with Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, by the way. But yeah, I mean, like, stress is stress. It's hard. It's hard to deal with. But, you know, yeah, it's difficult. And it's difficult to do it alone. I had a friend who kept saying they were coming up to visit, coming up to visit, coming up to visit. And it got pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, I was like, oh, you must be seeing someone. And they were like, well, it's complicated. And I was like, yeah, well, it's nice to know your priorities. So I got pushed aside for this person seeing someone. And I think that that was like the beginning of my downward spiral of like old coping mechanisms. And listen, I am in no way blaming this person, because if I was, I would call the motherfucker out. You know I would. But it definitely was a part of the snowball that happened and sort of, you know, did what it was doing. Did I say hey lovelies yet? Hey lovelies! So yeah, so that was a little difficult to deal with. And then, you know, I was going through my phone one day and I saw pictures of my ex on my phone because, unfortunately, so I have 2 iPhones now. I had an older iPhone. When I backed up one of the phones, it had backed up from an older one, right? So numbers that were deleted, numbers that were blocked were not blocked anymore because this was, you know, from my old phone. And so that was kind of hard to deal with. But yeah, so that's one thing that sort of, you know, not great. Then there's another thing, health-wise. Now, I am fully aware that I'm going to seem batshit crazy, but let's be honest with each other. It's not the first time, nor is it the last. So, when I had my trach surgery, right? When I had my trach surgery a few years ago, 2 years ago, I believe. Yeah, 2 years ago on my birthday this year. When we got home from the hospital that night, I had fainted. And I had, my boyfriend was like, you were in the middle of saying something and you just dropped to the floor. And I sat there and I was trying to remember how I was feeling when I fainted. And here's what happened. I was sitting there preparing something in the kitchen and I had this really fucked up deja vu moment. Really fucked up. I got a hot flash, and when I had the hot flash, I was reliving a dream that I had previously had. So I had dreamt about that moment already. Sounds fucked up, right? Here's the even more fucked up part. When I tried to focus on that moment, when I tried to focus on the details of that moment, that's when I fainted. So, I was at the park 2 days later, walking. I had this really fucked up hot flash happen, and all of a sudden, I felt like I was going to faint. My stomach turned, my whole body was like, what the hell's going on? And luckily, I knew what was happening, and I calmed myself down from that moment. Now, that has continued to happen. Recently, it happened while I was lying in bed out of nowhere. I was lying in bed, and I forget what I was watching, but I was watching something on Netflix, of course. And I got the hot flash, I had the reliving moment, and then, yeah, it's really bizarre, and it's really scary because it's happened to me at the grocery store. It has happened to me while I'm out walking, by myself. Like, it's happened when I'm out with the dogs. Like, it's a really scary thing because I am now consciously aware of the fact that I could very well faint in that moment, because of what happened the very first time. And now I've learned to sort of like have this moment of like, don't do this. Don't do this right now. This isn't happening. Calm down, relax, don't focus on anything. And I literally have to tell my mind to stop trying to focus on the moment that I've just relived. earlier today, I was watching an interview online on YouTube, and the reporter asked the star something, and their reply caused me to have a deja vu moment where I was looking at my phone, and I very much remember dreaming this moment. I very much remember the celebrity saying what they said, me looking at my phone, and I mean, how is that possible? I know I sound crazy. I legit get it, because even as I say it to people, I feel like I sound fucking crazy. But I guess, like, what's that old saying? It's usually the people that say that they're not crazy that are the ones that are the crazy ones. So maybe I'm not as crazy as I think I am, but I probably am. But yeah, so it happened again, and I was sitting down and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was reliving a moment of what I had already dreamt of. And like, I mean, how is this possible? Like, I'm not fucking psychic or anything stupid like that. I mean, the reality of life is that we don't know what dreams are. They're past lives, you know what I mean, future lives, other dimensions, who the hell knows? Enlightenment, I don't know. But it's really scary, and it's especially scary when it happens alone at night outside when I'm walking the dogs. When it happens at home, I'm able to be like, okay, it's okay, you're at home, like, don't worry about it, like, calm down. If I'm standing, I usually have to sit down. Yeah, and I don't really, yeah, it's so weird and so scary. So yeah, so those are my, like, moments of what's going on right now, and I thought that I would have, like, a real honest heart-to-heart with everyone out there and tell you a bit about stuff going on. I'm still on my antidepressants. P.S. This started well before my antidepressants, so it's not my antidepressants. It's not hallucinations from my antidepressants. This is something that's been going on for 2 years, and I've only been on the antidepressants since December. So, yeah. What else? I think that's about it. The dogs are good. I recently found their light up collars, which is nice because they, yeah, because now they, you know, oh my God, it's getting really hot in here. And I don't think that, of course, why would the remote for the air conditioning be there? Okay. Ooh, that was awfully close. I'm so sorry about that. But I'm sweating so bad. Ugh. It's nice to have a remote with, like, digital everything on it. Although I'm still trying to figure out certain things. It's nice. So yeah, so that's, like, yeah, and I get this like really odd, like, hot flash through my back, like, up into my head. It's, ugh. Yeah. So that's my life. I haven't really made any friends here. There is an older lady up the street named Lena who reminds me of my mom. So, so that's nice. It's always nice to meet people who remind you of your mom or your family. Everyone around here seems really nice, but it's lonely. I mean, listen, reality is that it's about as lonely as I thought it would be. It's as difficult a transition as I thought it would be. But even setting your mind up about certain things, your head can still play tricks on you and still, you know. I gained a couple pounds, and by a couple I mean a lot, back, because I was drinking heavily and, well, drinking heavily and eating really late at night. So that sort of screwed up my body, but I've been getting better. Now, if I want something to eat, like I find that, like, here's what happens when you're alone and you're bored, you go to the fridge and you eat. So now I go to the fridge and I have a glass of water. And I feel like that's actually really helping me to curb my eating habits. I am working out. I've been doing like little raises and like and leg lifts from the back on my knees on a yoga mat, not just on the floor because I have sensitive knees. Just kidding, I don't even know why I said that. But what else? I think that's really it. Now that you know my dirty secrets, it's time to probably go finish my coffee. You know, thing is that I watched this this show the other day, about a week ago, and I wish I could for the life of me remember the name of the show, but they were talking about alcoholism, and alcohol can literally change your brain chemistry to the point of like, oh, I'll just drink instead of working. And that's definitely what happened. If you noticed, my YouTube was getting a little like, and nobody said anything, and I appreciate you for that. But yeah, if you notice, certain things were falling by the wayside, and I'm not gonna lie, it was because I was drinking all the time. And yeah, but I feel like I'm getting better. Being honest, at least. I mean, that helps. And I think that talking about it to you, to all of you, definitely helps me. Because, you know, when you can talk in your head all you want, and by the way, it's clinically proven that it's very healthy for you to talk out loud to yourself. Clinically proven. It's also clinically proven for you to talk in your head and work things through. It actually helps you to deal with things faster, and it helps your brain to coordinate things easier. So yeah, so you know, listen, yeah, I don't know. I'm heading to Toronto next week to Ryerson, which is kind of exciting. And then that's completely ruined by having to go to court on the 15th. But, I mean, shit happens. Listen, I just want to get it over and done with. And have that whole part of my life, you know, gone. Anyway, thanks for sticking around through all of my ups and downs and everything else. I know that this video is all over the place, and I'm okay with it, actually. You know what? I'm actually okay with it. So, I love you all so very much, and there's a couple of things that you can do right now. You can comment down below, share it with your friends, family, and coworkers, and a couple fucking people you don't like. And of course, the third and most important, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye.